Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. And I wanted to take a few minutes to describe my trying out this new foundation. For me it's new. It's called Paradise and it's by L'Oreal. And basically it's a tinted moisturizer, but I found that I could almost use it like a foundation, a real foundation. And so one of the things that I really love about this is the packaging. And if you can get real close up, I don't know if you can tell. No, it's not picking it up. There's all those little tiny, they look like water droplets, but they're actually it's just an image. It's just I don't know how you call it. It's really neat packaging. So it looks like tiny droplets, but it's actually part of the packaging. It's so cool. So now I've just toned my skin. I washed it and I put my serums and moisture. Well, this is my moisturizer for today, but I put a little bit of sunscreen. And so what I wanted to do was just show you, this is going to be just a very understated, typical non-foundation day. If you can call this foundation, it's not really foundation, but I noticed that when I wore it the other day, I didn't have any of that heavy, sticky feeling. And so I was really pleased, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. So one of the first things that I wanted to tell you, going back in my early adult years, I'm pretty sure you can tell that I've had pretty bad scarring. And so when I was maybe 21, 22, it was at its worst. And I remember always being so anxious about university and exams. Even though the workload was much heavier, we didn't have all those essays to write every other month. So I'm just going to use my hands and probably go in with a little bit more from time to time. So what I ended up doing once, actually it was an aunt of mine who told me about it. It was her hairdresser, her salon, that was selling, and it's now not around anymore, a product by Rachel Perry, a whole line. It wasn't one product, it was a whole line of products. And it was aimed at clearing acne. And I did have 2 dermabrasions at that point, which greatly improved the texture, the overall texture of my skin. But it's so bad, guys. In those days, it was covered by health insurance, but it looked like a bad burn. It looked like I had been in a fire and lost half of my face. It was very strong. It wasn't like the chemical peels that are out today. And so it was a hospital thing. You had to stay in the hospital. I believe it was overnight. And the pain, oh my God. I did that twice. And I remember I was with my first boyfriend for both of those procedures. And I remember him saying, you did all that, you must be so brave. And so, he was very impressed by that. And I had always felt so self-conscious because he had a beautiful skin, and many young girls would drool over him. If you remember me talking about him, he looked like the actor that I described to you in the earthquake dream video. So he really was very handsome. Even though when I think about him, I don't think about that, you know. There, that's it. Now, I didn't put any primer on because I wanted you to see it without primer. So, there it is. I might have to put a little more on over my lips. And this is going to be my understated look. So, bear with me while I go in with this. Now for some concealer. Oh, made a mess. So, back to what I was saying about Rachel Perry. That was an incredible line, guys. And I'm not sure if it was cruelty-free. It was the type of thing that you found in a health food store. I remember going to pick up, you know, those little mini travel kits. All little miniature products, bottles, and whatever have you. Every time I ran out of something in the whole line, I would run to the health food store and pick up a little mini pack of all the products grouped together. And I, you know, in those days I was going away quite a bit, and I would leave kits there at my beach house, or I would leave them in different rooms at my house, one in a car. So I never had any chance of running out of that product. They had a bee gel. Oh, that was great, guys. They had a cleanser, they had a toner, they had several different kinds of moisturizers. They had makeup. And I remember using the foundation once in a while. It was all, you know, vegan. From what I can remember, if I recall correctly, it was vegan. And I'm so sorry that that line is no longer available because it was incredible. And it was based on aloe vera jelly. And so one thing it didn't come with was the aloe vera juice. And I would drink it, 1 or 2 glasses every day. And then I would pack on the aloe vera gel. Now this was processed just for the skin. It was safe, and it didn't have that cancerous pulp that, you know, people have been warning everybody about. It was all completely processed. It was a commercial type for your skin, just for your skin. So I fell in love with that, guys. I couldn't believe that I found that line. And you want to know something? After years, say, what, 5 years, 6 years of struggling since I was 16, 17, everything magically, even after 2 dermabrasions, it all cleared up within 2 months. All of it. I was just absolutely stunned. But by that time, I had already left, well, my first boyfriend and I had already broken up. So he never really saw, until he came back to see me a few years later, he never really saw the overall, he never really knew about this product. And I remember thinking to myself, oh boy, I wish I could, just show my friend what kind of a product that I found, because we used to have long talks about my skin. And it used to make me feel so self-conscious, because I knew at that time that there was a girl at university, one of his old girlfriends actually, and she had just entered university with us in our second year. And she was, guess what, everybody? She was in the dorms. And so she was always there. And she was from out of town. She was from Quebec. And she knew him very well. And so I always felt very self-conscious, even because I knew that they had gone out on a date, a friend date, which they never told me about. And so from then on, guys, I was so self-conscious about my skin and my face, my looks, and it really kind of destroyed my peace of mind. And I remember her name. Her name was Louise. And I remember once that he and I and Louise and his friend all went out on a double date. And, I kind of got the feeling that she was inching after him. And actually, it was too big for me to ignore. She really was. She was a very pretty girl. And so, one thing led to another. And I ended up, I think it was our first year together, or our second year, I can't remember. But she was the issue that led us into our first breakup. And so that I never forgot that, guys. I never forgot that. I would never forgive him for that. Even when we got back together again, my following birthday, I never forgave him for that. Never, never. He insisted that it was her. Okay, maybe it was her, but what was he doing hanging around her? Tell me that one. So, I don't know. It's not worth dwelling on, but we were young, Anyway, I had no boyfriends to write home about, so he was the one with the past, not me. And I never went to nightclubs because I was too young, and I believe that she was too. So I think we were the same age. So every time he went out with his friends, which was not that much, I would always imagine that he was taking her out on a date. And you know what, guys? One night, my parents went to the movies, and yeah, guess who they found at the movies? If you guessed him and Louise, you guessed right. And so that's what led to this breakup. I felt so incredibly stupid. Here I was, slaving at home with my homework and my essays and my reading. I remember for my degree, I used to have to read about 25 novels a week. Of course, I learned how to skim a lot of it. But I just couldn't believe it. I felt so alone, I felt so... It's hard to describe that feeling, but you all know what I mean. So, I'm not overdoing it on this. There. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So, almost done. Just a bit of eyeliner. That's it. And just a little bit of my favorite I think you're seeing it backwards, aren't you? That's my look. Oops. Okay, my hair is dirty, if you can see that, but just to show you that this is just a very plain, understated look. And sometimes I might go in with a little face powder, but that's about it. This is for walking, going on my walks. It's not for really dressing up, but I like it. I really like it because my skin feels very light, like there's nothing on it. Of course, the coverage could be much better. I could, you know, put on another layer or two, but it's just perfect for, you know, puttering around, going to run your errands, or going for a walk, and doing a little shopping. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything spectacular. It doesn't leave you looking glamorous, just every day. So I'm glad I picked this up, and this is L'Oreal Skin Paradise. So I hope that if you get a chance, you can pick up a tube of this. My color is Pale Fair, number 2. I don't know what number 1 is, or if there even is a number 1. I've never seen it. But anyway, my review, I love it. And I wish I could explain more in detail how it makes me feel. But it does bring back university years, because I remember having something very similar. I believe it must have been CoverGirl or Maybelline, I'm not sure. And I think it was a concealer. And would you know, I used to go to university with a face full of concealer all over my face. And just because my skin used to be so reddish and pockmarked, and it was just, I couldn't bear looking at it like that. So anyway, I love this. So guys, I hope that you found my little story time interesting. That wasn't a story time that I was planning. I just decided to throw it in there because this takes me back to my early 20s. It's the same kind of very thin, translucent foundation. And so you know, it's making me relive the past a little. So hopefully you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.